Hey guys, have you ever struggled to make your cheap microphone sound expensive in your bedroom studio? Well, I did for many years, which is why I made this series. In this free series, I'm going to be discussing some of the tips and tricks that I picked up over the 17 years that I've been producing at home. I'm going to be discussing what I do outside of my computer to set up my microphone for the best possible recording, and then we're going to be building a vocal chain from scratch using Ableton Live stock plugins. I'm going to be discussing my logic for why I do what I do, and by the end of this series, you're gonna have a professional sounding vocal chain that you can use when recording vocals from home. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe, and feel free to drop any questions you have in the comment section below, and I'll address them in the next video. Let's get into it. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be using a $75 MXL 770 mic that I got off of Amazon. So the first order of business is just going to be to make sure that your Ableton Live settings are correct for recording audio. So go to Live, Settings, make sure you're on the Audio tab. For the audio input device, go ahead and select your interface of choice, whatever you're using. And then for the sample rate, I have it set to 48. You probably have it set to 44.1. 44.1 is pretty standard for recording stuff at home. 48 is just a little bit higher quality, but it does take up more space in your computer. So keep that in mind if you want to go higher. I never really use any of these because I'm just recording from home. And then for buffer size, I don't really care for this too much, because I don't like hearing myself in through Ableton. I don't bother with this. If you want to hear yourself in Ableton and you want the lowest latency possible, just make sure your computer is strong enough to handle it, and then you could set this as low as you can without getting any audible artifacts from your computer. And then you can do delay compensation here. It shows how much milliseconds of latency there is, so you can just set a negative number if you want, and it'll kind of, Ableton will play the signal a little bit earlier to make up for the latency. Go ahead and create a new audio track. You can just right click, insert audio track, or Command T. I like using hotkeys. And then set your input to external in. Set your microphone to the mono input. For me, it's number 3, but for you, it would be 1 or 2, whichever input you're using. I don't like using the stereo because what it's going to do is it has a left and a right. And if you only plugged your microphone into the first input, it would pan your vocal to the left, and the right would be completely muted. So it would sound like you panned your vocal to the left. So we don't need that. We're just doing a mono input, so it just sends it down the middle. And now we're ready to get some audio going through our audio channel. Next thing I would do is just proper gain staging. So this is one of the most important parts during this whole process of recording vocals, is making sure you set the volume right on your microphone. Typically, I like my volume to be anywhere from -12 to -18 decibels. This is so that it doesn't hit anywhere near 0 dB, because if it hits 0 dB or higher, it's gonna clip and you're gonna get audible distortion, which just sounds bad and it sounds cheap. So in order to avoid that, I set my volume at -12 to -18 dB. This is also to give enough headroom or enough volume between the peak of your vocal to 0 dB. That's the headroom that you're going to use to mix or process your vocal after you've recorded it. So you definitely want to leave that headroom. I'll show you how to do this real quick. So what I do is I go to session view, and you can see here the peaks is indicated by this number here. If you click to refresh it, you can see it's just showing me the highest peak that my voice is at. So again, if you have it too close to 0, you're going to get distortion. If you have it too low and you're going to have to be bringing the volume up, you're going to bring all the floor noise and the background noise up with it. So you want to be setting your volume at a decent level where it's not too high and not too low. So -12 is kind of like the sweet spot for me. So you would just adjust the input until it's peaking at about that -12 number. All right, so for the purpose of this video, I made a little beat. Shout out to Taylor Bigford, by the way, for hooking it up with Scorch. Super dope plugin. So this is what we got. All right, so I'm gonna get to recording some vocals, and then I'll see you guys once I have something recorded. All right, so I got some vocals recorded here. The first thing I'm going to do is drop an EQ on it. So I'm just going to go into Ableton's Audio Effects, EQ8, and just drop that on there. I'm going to do a low cut and just cut everything below 80 Hertz off. I like to do 2 EQs, one that's pretty gradual and then one that's sharper, like the ×4. So I'll do this one at around like 45 Hertz just to cut off any extra rumble. I like to do this because if I cut out the rumble, then the compressors and everything that comes after it will be less affected. So a lot of the times that rumble is really loud, and so it makes the compressor go kind of crazy. So I like to roll that off before I get started. After this, let's hear how our vocal sounds.
The devil trying to pull me. The devil trying to pull me away. Don't wanna be a fake one.
So one of the things you'll notice is there's a lot of like noise. If I blow this up using the zoom feature here, you could see there's a lot of noise going on in between this vocal. That's usually background noise and things that are going on that I would like to get rid of. And a really good tool that I use for that is a gate. So I'm gonna go into Audio Effects, and then I'm gonna go into Gate. And then the way the gate works is it lets certain things through. I want the vocal to come through, and I want my background noise not to come through the gate. So the way I would do this is by setting the threshold all the way down so I can hear everything coming through, and then just adjust it until it sounds good.
The devil trying to pull me. The devil trying to pull me away. Don't wanna be a fake one, no. Don't wanna live with two faces.
So the first thing you're going to notice is, well, some of the vocals come through and some of them don't. So the louder ones come through, but the quieter ones don't. This is a huge issue that I faced early on when I was producing music. And the way that I learned to kind of fix that is by compressing before my gate. I have the compressor here. I'm just going to drag the threshold down, and then we'll go to the second one. This one is a faster attack, faster release, so it just gets the peaks. And then this one is a slower attack, slower release, so it brings up more of the body. I'll turn this one off first.
The devil trying to pull me. The devil trying to pull me away. Don't wanna be a fake one, no. Don't wanna live with two faces.
So around like 3 dB of gain reduction.
The devil trying to pull me. The devil trying.
And then same thing.
The devil trying to pull me. The devil trying to pull me away. Don't wanna be a fake one, no. Don't wanna live with two faces. I wanna follow you, but
Okay, so we got that set. Now we can go to the gate. Let's solo that.
The devil trying to.
So drag the threshold all the way down.
The devil trying to pull me. Yeah. The devil trying to pull me away. Don't wanna be a fake one, no. Don't wanna live with two faces. I wanna follow you, but the devil trying to pull me away. Don't wanna be a fake one.
So you can hear how much noise it's removing.
The devil trying to pull me.
Okay, I'm just gonna create a new audio channel and freeze this and just show you exactly what it's doing. So as you could see, it took the breaths out. It took a lot of the background noise out if I zoom in, which is good, but it's also bad because sometimes we want to keep the breaths. So what I would do, let's unfreeze this real quick. What I would do is bring up the gate so it only lets the vocal through without the breaths. And then I would duplicate the channel and keep the breaths. So turn the gate off, freeze flatten this, and let's see here. Just remove the vocal and only bring in the things that you need. Like this breath here, you can just fade it in. Just like that. And this breath, you can fade it in if you want, make it shorter, and just really fine tune your breaths. And then as you can see, one is louder than the other, so you can go in and bring the volume of this one down and make it more consistent. So then when you play this,
the devil trying to pull me.
I don't like the ending of that breath.
The devil.
Maybe make it shorter.
The devil.
So you can really have full control over your breaths.
The devil trying to pull. The devil trying to pull me. Yeah. The devil trying to.
You can even copy paste breaths. If you like really don't like this one, you can delete it and and just have this one too if you want.
The devil trying to. The devil trying to pull me. Yeah. The devil trying to pull.
There you go. Much, much cleaner. That way you have control over the breaths and over the vocal, and you can remove the background noise. So that is the first session. Again, I showed you how to roll that rumble off in the low end to make the compressors work a little bit better. And then once we compress the signal and make it a little bit more stable, we could send it into the gate, and then the gate can function a little bit more consistently. So that is it for the first session. And in the next session next week, I'm going to be going over how to surgically EQ out some of the weird reflections in your room if you don't have acoustic treatment, or if you have glass and sound is bouncing off weird, how to get a little bit more of a consistent sounding vocal. And again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I will answer them in the next session. See you in the next one.